it's Michelle, and I've got a fun punch art project for you guys today. Recently I asked the question on Facebook if anyone could guess what kind of punch art I was making using an egg and a tulip. Here are the die sets that I got those from. The first one that I got my tulips from has two Grassy border dies. You can make a flat grass border or an arched Grassy heel border. And then there are two different size tulips that you can put on top of your grasses here, and then a little butterfly. And then here is my set with the egg shapes, and this was clearly intended for Easter, and it's really what I had in mind first too, but it was after Easter, so I wanted to go ahead and see if I could find some new ways to use it until Easter comes back around. So this one has 5 different sizes of egg shapes and then one tiny little Easter bunny. So I got a few responses on my Facebook question, but as of today when I'm filming this video, no one had guessed it yet. What I came up with to create with the egg and tulip is balloons. And I think that is so cute. That little tulip shape makes the perfect little bottom to your balloon, and then just tie on a string, and that's all it takes. I got the idea when I was watching another YouTuber's video doing some balloons, and I thought that looks just like an egg turned upside down. So I came to the craft room to play around, and then I found my set here with the tulips, and I just thought that is perfect. That's exactly what I needed to turn that egg into a balloon. So for this one here that I made ahead of time, I used the next to the smallest, and I think that makes a perfect size balloon to go on a card front. You could even use the smaller one, and I've got some examples here of even the larger ones. And I did a few of these with the next to the largest one. And I thought they would be really good for scrapbook pages. You could even use the largest one if you wanted to make balloons on a scrapbook page. I think these would be a really good addition to a scrapbook layout for a birthday, and you could use maybe the larger one to cut out a balloon shape. Let me kind of lay this out so I can give you guys an idea. You could cut out a balloon like that using the larger one, and then you could take the next size down and use it to cut out a photograph of the birthday boy or girl, and then it would just be sort of matted by the larger balloon. And then you could use some of this smaller size all around, scattered over the page with journaling in each one. Maybe a large number for whatever age they're turning on that birthday. And I think it would be really, really cute for scrapbooking. They are a little large for card making, but I think this would make a beautiful scrapbook page. So I'm going to lay this aside and bring in my pieces that I have cut out already. I'm going to show you a few examples of how I created the smaller ones, and then I'm going to go ahead and do one more example of the larger one besides these examples I had for you here, so that you can see how that goes together too. It's the same way, but it actually is a little easier to hold together because of the larger pieces. And on my green and pink and purple, I used some coordinating baker's twine, and these are just the little ones that you get in a 3-pack at Dollar Tree, and they worked out perfectly, and I had colors to match with all of them. So I even have some for the ones I'm going to be doing here, and we can tie a string onto every balloon, and I think that's going to be so cute. So to create our balloons, I'm just going to put a little dot of glue on my upside down tulip. Just one little dot at the very top. And these are all cut from this bright watercolor pad from the Miss Sparkling company that I got at Joann. And the bright watercolors I thought were just perfect for balloons. So I've just got one little dot of glue on there, and I'm going to overlap my upside down egg, if I can get a hold of it. Right over that. And as you can see, there's not much there holding on. It's just barely a little. So what I've been doing is taking some double-sided tape. I've got some of this red line tape that was also the Miss Sparkling company that I found on a second trip back. And I've just been cutting a little piece of that and span that across the whole thing, and that'll keep that tiny little thing from coming undone. And I have been having so much fun making balloons. I think these are so cute. And I'm using the art glitter glue, so any excess I can just wipe right away. It's going to dry clear, so that's going to be just fine. And again, I'm going to span across that with a narrow strip of tape. To keep from losing my little balloon tip down there. So same thing again. You get the idea. Really the only thing that is important here is just to overlap it enough that it'll hold fairly well. And then to make sure that you reinforce it on the back. Which I did not do when I first tried this out. And that little piece did end up coming loose. And usually the art glitter glue holds pretty good. But just hanging on by a thread like that, it did come loose anyway. So you do want to make sure and put a strip of tape of some sort there. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you with the larger one. So of course I used the larger tulip, both upside down. But being a little larger, it does hold on a little better. You've got a little more there to catch with that glue, but I still want to put some tape across that just to make sure, because I don't want it to come apart. And just span that right across both pieces. And I've just been leaving that red backing on that and not even take that loose. And we'll just use additional adhesive when we put it on a card or scrapbook page or whatever we decide to use it for. So now we're just going to tie on our strings, each one coordinating with the balloon. I'm just going to tie it right around that. And what that does really is put that right over top of where the two pieces meet, and it kind of helps disguise that. And it really won't show that it's two separate pieces. It'll look like you just had a balloon die. One thing that I really love about this punch art is the versatility. One shape doesn't have to be used as that same image every time. You can get a lot of different uses out of it. So then I tie that to where it looks sort of tight, but really isn't. And I'm just going to cut that. And we can just adhere that to the back later on to keep it from coming out from behind there and showing. I think I'll try something a little different with this one. I think I want to try peeling that backer off of there first. And we can utilize that adhesive on there to help hold our string down. Let's see how that works. I think that worked out pretty good. That way that'll hold our string for us so it doesn't come out from behind there and show. And if we're not ready to stick that onto something yet, we can go ahead and go right over top of that with another strip, still with the backer on it, and kind of sandwich that string between two layers. And then we can peel that off or add some foam tape or something on the back whenever we decide to put that on a card. So now for my red balloon. And I actually have several more ideas coming up using this egg shape. I like to look at shapes a little differently. They're not always, or they don't always have to be used as what they were originally intended as. Because when you look around at all of the objects in the world, they are just made up of a combination of different shapes. And we can take those shapes with die cuts or punches and create those objects in punch art. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and peel that off of this one too. With that bigger one, I want to make sure to hold my string in place. So I just tie a little knot, pulling it down snug, but not tight, because if you tighten too much on that, you're going to tear right through your paper. And then make a little knot, stick that string right down in that adhesive, and we'll sandwich that in with another strip. And now I'm just going to take my white gel pen, and this is the UniBall Signo Broad. I think it's a 1mm, and I love this pen. It always comes out of there so good, and that white gel pen is so vibrant. And I'm just going to make a couple of little highlight spots to make it look like where the light hits the balloon. That helps it to look a little more rounded. So I just make my little mark. I make a short one here that's kind of wide. I make it about 2 widths of the pen wide. And then make a longer one, spaced down from that a little bit, that tapers to a point. And that looks like my little shine spot on my balloon. When I cut these out, I tried to place my die on top of the paper with that watercolor design, to where that on that upper right side where I wanted to be the highlight area, if there was a lighter area in the watercolor paper, I tried to get it up around that area, and that'll help with the highlighted look too. And that is all there is to it. And I think they are absolutely adorable. So you guys be sure to leave a comment below and let me know what you think of my balloons. I hope you like them. I really enjoyed it so much. If you guys have any more ideas that you think would be good use for the egg shape, let me know. I've got a few of my own that I plan to do some videos for, and if you guys have any suggestions, I'd be glad to give those a try too. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already done that. Just click on the subscribe button and be sure that you click the bell next to that, and you can choose to get notifications when I upload a video. That way you won't miss out when I post something new. Give me a like over on my Facebook page and be sure to join our Facebook group, Crafty Minds, so you can share your crafts with us too. Also follow me on Pinterest and Instagram, and don't forget to visit my blog. I'll put the links to all of those in the description, so be sure and check those out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.